How I remember my mother and my father during the war. During the war, and the Nazis are there, and they tell you 8 o'clock must be the house dark, no lights. And anybody has a light, they come in and arrest you or shoot you. And my parents took in the refugees at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. The Goyim, or Gentile people, smuggled the refugees from country to country, of course for money. And one day, it was in 1944, in a city called Arad, Romania. The guy, the Gentile, knocks on the window and he says, please, I have some refugees, I haven't got anywhere to stay or sleep. Can you let them in, please? My father opened the door and my mother and took him in, gave him clothing, food, bed. I remember as a boy, I remember I asked my mother, why do we have to sleep on the floor? There's no room, only so many beds you have. And they are using our beds. My mother answered, these are refugees. These have no parents. These people go around hungry for many, many months, maybe years. Therefore, they didn't have a bed for a long time. You guys have parents and you're helping these people. And the refugees by us, many of them different, coming and going, going and coming, eating, sleeping. Everything was done with a safer point of view of us, with a smile. I remember like now, as I'm talking to my mother, she always came to the place, please take this, please eat this. You didn't eat a long time, eat. No, Mrs. Lowy, we are not hungry anymore, we ate so much. And she always insisted, you're weak, you need strength. As far as growing up, my father was traveling a lot. For Panosa, we lived in Siget, Maramuras. And my father hired a rabbi from some of the villages, and we went to Cheder, me, my brothers. As a matter of fact, I went to Cheder with Eli Wiesel. His name was not Eli, his name was Lizer. As I said earlier, my father was traveling a lot. It rings in my ears. One day my mother cried to my father. I'm quoting now. Exact words. I was 9 years old. Moshe, you're never home. You have 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls. He looked at her and he said, Ilasura, I'm traveling with Banusa. I have a factory in Arad, also Romania, a different part. It's south of Romania. Let's move to Arad. My mother says, what? What Arad? Where? I said, we don't know other cities. And you live in Maramuras and Siget. It's a backward country. The word travel didn't exist. I walked with my father and my two brothers 5 kilometers by foot, of course, to, it's called Slotvano, that's Slovakia. 5 kilometers, different country. My father took us there because there was a store, it's called Bata, B-T-A. Bata was a famous shoes, and going to buy shoes for Yontif. I remember also that my grandmother, as we started walking, started to cry, give us brugge and called Brugges Haderach. 5 kilometers, she cried, go and try, be besliach, and be careful, don't look left, don't look right, just look straight, go with your father, make sure there's no cars, there's no nothing, it's only horse and buggy.
So you didn't go with a horse and buggy?
We walked. We had no horse and buggy. What I do remember is very funny, interesting, impressive. We bought the shoes, ready to go back to Sigid. My father said to us boys, I want you should put your foot with the new shoes in the mud. In Yiddish called mud merast. Mud. Why mud? Because when you go to the border from Slovakia to Sigid, the customs should not recognize the new shoes. You have to pay duty. I said, I was a renegade, I am not putting my foot, my shoes in the mud. I was a rebel. And two other brothers did. Anyway, we passed, no problem. So I remember that thing with the shoes. It was so impressive that we have new shoes for Pesach, and you have to put in mud. Father hired a rabbi from out of town, from another village. His name was Itzik, had a red beard. He was beating up the boys, terribly. For any move, or we didn't know something, whatever, or we were laughing, okay? But he meant well, and he really taught us the Chumash Rasha every week. So we learned by Itzik, me, my brothers, Eli Wiesel, let's move to Arad. All right, she said. We packed and packed and packed the smatas. Finally, we go on the train. The train was 3 weeks. The train goes and stops. Has to put in water, has to put in fuel, has to put in lumber. It was like a choo-choo train. But we young boys, we are 10 years old. It was 1939, 11 years old, 1939. Finally we arrived in Arad. My father had to look for to lodge, to stay. So you find an apartment, because you are a big family. Fine, everything was la-di-da. The problem started in Cheder, in Arad. In Arad, the boys made fun of us. Why? You think about it today, me as an elderly gentleman, my Yiddish was Marmorish Yiddish. Sigid, they talk different, like in America you have the South. So you don't understand how this southern people talk versus a New Yorker. So the boys didn't understand us, made fun, and we didn't understand them. Then was another part. Our pants were 3/4, and their pants and ours was long pants. So they made fun of our pants. So they came home always crying, mainly to mother. Mother crying, and mother always said, "Don't worry, it'll be okay, okay." Because my father was also traveling, and he didn't listen to the pants or the language. But the rabbi, again, the name was Shiber. He was also a little bit rough at us, with many, many boys. He loved to pinch, literally pinch. Pinching hurts when you're a boy of 11 years old or so. Again, we learned what we learned, and so we start growing up a year, another year. 1939, 39, end of 39, the Sigete Roof, the Zamalai Teitelbaum, decided to visit Arad from Sigit. My father was a big chassid, a Sigit, and he asked whether he could have a meal by us. He agreed. My mother was busy with 9 courses of milchiks, only dairy. 9 different type of courses. It's not easy dairy.
Why only dairy?
Because meat you would need in the house. Meat you would need. Dairy, yes. You know, after all, he was Secretary of, has certain borderlines. I overheard my father telling during the meal for the Secretary of, "Rabbi, after dinner, I would like to talk to you a few minutes, ask you a question privately." I overheard that question. Remember, I'm very young, I'm 10 years old. It bothered me. What if my father wants to talk? At that age, in Yiddish you call it a shebenyak, always looking to do things, to find out this, that, a nosy body, if you want. So be it. After dinner, we go into another room, and I kind of was there, hiding myself, I shouldn't see me. I don't know how I did it, but the fact is, my father starts asking the Sigurd Roof a following question. And this question is, to be or not to be? Rabbi, you're going to go and divide Romania from Hungary. Arad stays Romania, Sigit, Sakmer, Grozledan goes to Hungary. My father continued, I have an old mother in Sigit. I have 2 brothers. I have a sister. I have family, cousins. Here I have only my immediate family. Rabbi, should I go back to Sigit and be together in Hungary? We didn't know that time, 1939, what Hungarians are, or what they do, or listen to the Germans. We didn't know what Romania will do. We didn't know nothing. We were in the dark. I remember it like now. The rabbi sitting in a chair like I'm sitting. He had a big black hat on his head. I don't know, 10 minutes or 12 minutes or 15 minutes, he didn't talk. My father sits next to him and I was watching for some kind of a corner hiding. After that minutes passed, he said the following. Moshe, that was my father's name. Ihr seid schon da, bleib da. You are here, stay here. That saved us. Hungary was the most admired country for the Jews till 1944. Romania wasn't so. Romania was terrible. Labor, under the Nazis, didn't take us away. Labor, my father was left to labor, but it was easy, it wasn't terrible. But I did see as a boy in the plaza called Piazza, hanging a Jew and written on his neck with a sign, Bosor Kosher. That means he's a Jew. This I won't forget.
Where was it?
In Arad. In Arad. Middle of the piazza, the square. So Romania was unbelievable. Jews came freely from Hungary to Romania, back and forth, but we were stuck. Ma osa kurzbrache. What did God did? They were occupied by Germans, and we in Romania occupied by Germans. Himmler gave out an order for Hungarian to pack up all the Jews and give them a few weeks, a month to pack up, which was a lot of Jews. And take him to Auschwitz. Everything was fine in Arad, Romania. Was missing a yeshiva. Boys grew up, there's no more cheder. I needed like a high school, like a college, like a higher up. So my father decided, he has 3 sons, he gave $1,000 in 1941. 41. Still okay with Hungary, everything's fine. And he brought in a rabbi, and my father built a yeshiva. As a matter of fact, the yeshiva was called Yeshivas Beis Moshe, on his name. I have in my library pictures of my father and the rabbi. Every Thursday, the rabbi made a farher. What's a farher in English? The boys had to repeat by heart what we learned and what the rabbi taught during the week. That was Thursday night. And any boy who did not, they had to go back a week back and start again over and over till that guy knew. So let's go on and on and on. 1946, the war was over in 45. By the way, in Arad, we were bombed every night by the Americans because we were occupied by Germans. We went to the shelter, all my parents, everybody, the whole town in the shelter. But thank God, nothing serious happened. So as I said, now it's 1946. To go to Palestine, it was a dream. The British occupied Palestine. They didn't let in no Jews, only certain, called a quota system, like let's say 100 a month. They gave out certificates for organizations, for schools, whatever. My father, since he was the Aguda in Arad, he received 2 certificates for my 2 older brothers, 1946. They went to Palestine. I was miserable. There's no word for miserable. I lost 2 brothers. There's nothing to do after the war. Even the yeshiva became called monotony. It became too much. My head was only to join my brothers. How you do that? Day and night, this is my mind, what my brothers do, what are they doing, working, what to, for it's a dream, Romania to Palestine. One day, I get up, I made a decision. I tell my father and mother, I'm going to Palestine. What are you talking about? They're laughing at me. You have money? You have a passport? You have ID? You have documents? You have nothing. You have a certificate? I called them Onyu, Apu. Apu is the father, Onyu is the mother, Hungarian. I will get there. Wasn't easy for them to swallow that pill. It didn't happen one day. Had to go in their mind that this boy is crazy, or what should we do with him? I was researching and listening to every news and everything. Finally, I read in the paper and I heard in the shul talking. I was always a busybody because my head was not anymore in Arad. I heard there is a ship, illegal ship, it's called Mapilim in Hebrew, that will go to Palestine from Yugoslavia. I'm sorry, from Bulgaria. The city is called, the port is called Varna. To get there, to Bulgaria, it's like me getting the plane and fly. Not, I have no plane, I cannot fly. A stupid dream. I did not let go. I keep researching, listening, finding out. Finally, I find out there's a train was leaving to Bulgaria. Remember, there was a lot of legals who received certificates on that train who go to meet the ship. I snooch around, spied around. Don't ask me now, at this age, in 2016 or even 2000, how I found out. The fact is, I scraped enough money to buy a ticket on the train from Arad to Bucharest. Bucharest is the capital of Romania, where the trains are leaving all over different countries. So I gathered some money on a train, and I took a train. My mother, my father were crying and gave me all the blessings, all the brochas. My father took out $20 in his pocket, that's what he had. He says, "Be betzliach, and don't forget to put on tefillin every day." I arrived in Bucharest. The the train station has a huge gates, huge iron gates. Nobody could just go in and out like America. Everything is open. You go in only with permission. You go out, everything is soldiers there with police, with guns. I see a guy goes in and out, in and out. Nobody stops him. And he is from Arad. His name was Appel. A-P-P-E-L. Shlomi. It was Lowy Appel. Hi, how are you? Oh, Shalom Aleichem, how's your parents? I said, fine, everything is fine. Listen, I heard that you are from Aguda, and you are a macher. It's called a macher. Yeah. Can you take me to a train? What? I said, just take me into a train and ask you a favor. Did you parents favors in Arad? Back and forth didn't go easy. Just take off your jacket and put it on your shoulder like I do. And follow me, don't say a word. Don't look left, don't look right, just... He walks to the gate, they open the gate for him, they salute him, the Romanian soldiers, and I follow, I'm shivering. He puts me on the train, he says, okay, I did you a favor. I says, please, please tell my parents that you put me on the train. Okay. Now starts something which is even difficult to discuss. What happens to a young boy of 17 and a half on a train, waiting till the train will move. And all of a sudden you hear noises, police looking for illegals. I'm shivering, I'm hiding wherever I can. Other people shiver, hide. The bottom line is, God was with me, Malach Gavril was with me, and the train starts to move. We move towards Bulgaria. Took a long time. We arrive, must be 12, 1, maybe 2, pitch dark in the mornings. We cross the border. Before you cross, again, documents, passport, documents, and there's no lights, dark. Only a left lamp, a lamp with kerosene, which he holds in the hand, the Romanian and the Bulgarian soldier. And there's a long line to pass from country to country. Again, I'm praying to God. You helped me, you brought me till here, please. Don't let me down, etc., etc. Staying in line and thinking. And God gave me some thoughts, which I'll never forget, and it worked. What were the thoughts? A Romanian soldier cannot read, cannot write. They give him a pushka, a rifle, they give him some kind of a uniform. I remember wooden sneakers, wooden sandals, and that's it. They gave him probably a few dollars a day, Romanian money. So why should a Bulgarian be able to read? I made a cheshbon. As the line continues towards the border, I take out a piece of blank paper in my pocket, and a line, of course, inside, destroyed inside, and I gave him the paper, and he pushed me through. Go, go. Behind me, I hear Jewish people from my hometown, speaking Hungarian or Yiddish, this Lowy guy passed. Everyone knew I'm illegal. Again, back to a train, back to Varna to go to the ship. We arrive in the morning. There was a captain hired by the Haganah, by the underground Zionist group. There was no Israel yet. Hired any Jew. They hired ships illegal, called, as I said before, Mapilim. He was a Jewish man dressed in civilian clothes, of course. And he says, I'm only allowing on the ship people who are on my list. Again a struggle, again a pray, again this. And I'm no place. So I talked to people, I said, listen, I came so far, he's going to send me back. I'm now in a different country, Bulgaria. I don't know the language, I have no money, I have nothing. Came mine next, and I said, I have no papers. He says, no, I won't let you on. Literally came people, men and ladies, I remember like now, and he said to the guy, listen, the man is a boy alone. He crossed all these countries. We will give him our share of food. He will sleep on the floor, we'll give him our covers. He will not bother nobody. He doesn't need a bed. He let me on.
Did you know these people?
No, no. I just was like begging, crying. What should I do now? Where do I go? Where to go? I'm no place. You're in the middle of a desert. As soon as the ship leaves, nothing. People help me. We travel, as I said, 3 weeks. Finally, we see the mountains of the Carmel from distance. We see Haifa. All of a sudden, British ships came and pulled us in with ropes to the port of Haifa. And we are there, remember, 2 or 3 days without knowing nothing what will happen. We did know that all the illegals go to Cyprus. Cyprus is an island, someplace, not far from Israel. Yeah. All of a sudden came down the new orders, and we were rushing to the wall to read the new regulations, new orders from the British. It says, man over 65 go down to Athlete. Athlete is a camp, outskirts of Haifa. Women with children pregnant go down to Athlete. All the rest go to Cyprus. Now where am I? Not pregnant, not 65, no children, alone. What do I do? Where do I fit in? What the hell should I go to Cyprus? I looked at this mountain, the Mount Carmels, I remember like now, and prayed to the mountains. You helped me till now. Please, I don't want to go down to Cyprus. I want to go home. I have 2 brothers. I go up on the deck. All the people were ready to go down. The women, children, old people, with a pekaloch on the deck. I see there a couple. The name is Banda, Yitzchak Banda, with his wife and a few kids, and she has a big stomach. And there's a British soldier who goes up and down on the deck, like the whole country, the whole world is his. He doesn't talk to nobody. I go to Yitzchak, say, Yitzchak, can I say that I'm a brother of yours? Or your wife, whatever, brother? He says, no, it. Say whatever you want. I approach that British soldier, like I see him now. My English was not poor, my English was zero. And I say, and I show with my finger, brother, sister, brother, sister. He picks up my collar from my jacket and he throws me off the ship. I get a head out of here. My foot is down in Haifa already. As they see that, they will start pressing the whole people on the deck, and Lowy boy is again out. In Haifa, there are trucks what takes us to Athlete. Athlete is a camp, exists even today, not as a camp, it is a military school. And go from the pier from Haifa to Athlete. Go back to Passion. I don't know if you call it Passion. I said to you before, it's Uchi Achai, not Uchi is one, Achai is two. Ani mevakesh. I'm looking for my brothers. My whole dream of Palestine, I told my father and mother, 1947, I'm leaving to Palestine. I want to be my brothers. But there's no life for me. Next is Khalila, suicide. There's nothing to do. It's after the war. There's nothing. Everything is called Toy V'Voi after the Noach's Teva. There's nothing. So I'm an athlete. An athlete, again, there's bunks, what is bunks, and they put you out to some kind of work, whatever. I remember one thing. Who wants to work in a kitchen? Right away I lift my hand. I. My cheshbon, my account was simple. I'm hungry. Kitchen's plenty of food. I never saw in my life an orange, a date, a fig, cornflakes. Didn't exist in my life. Remember the woman, the Polish fat woman, she said in Yiddish, 4 in the morning, you have to be there every morning. I said, no problem. I came to work. I eat oranges for 3 days and 3 nights. My stomach became so sour that I almost became sick. The episode is I start to bring food for people who I met in the ship, who helped me here, were nice people, good work, who were in their bunks. One of the girls is today my sister-in-law, today, my brother's wife, my brother passed. And she remembers as I brought food to the ladies and men, because when the woman was not there in the kitchen, I took the liberty to bring food, all kind of whatever, bread, cornflakes, oranges, fruit. Here happened something that you guys must fall off the chair, because I did many times. I walk around in the camp, huge backyard. I was smoking that time a cigarette. I walk around to myself, nobody else. And there is, where they're watching us, the British soldiers, or police you call them. There's iron gates, 2 sides, In the middle are the British, who are going up and down watching the, I don't know how you call it, prisoners, guys who are in camp, how you call them?
Stateless.
Stateless, whatever you call them. As I walk around by myself, I see one guy, British, up and down, and his face is very familiar to me. I hit myself. Don't be stupid. Cannot be. What are you thinking, stupid? You know, I'm not stupid. I know this guy. How do you know he's a British? He's your enemy. I approach him. I said to him, Yitzchak. He is up and down with his rifle, uniform. I didn't let him go. Yitzchak. We slept in one bed in the yeshiva. Yitzchak. He couldn't take it anymore. And he says, shh, quiet. Let's meet 2 o'clock in the morning in that corner. Almost fainted. I met an old yeshiva friend. Now it comes 2 in the morning to meet him. That excitement I cannot describe to you because right now, after so many years, I'm still shivering. He says to me, how the hell did you recognize me? That was his first question. He's a British, uniform, rifle. I say, Yitzchak, your face, you're together. We talked, we cried together, happy, we hugged each other. I said, Yitzchak, I need a big favor. He says, whatever you want, I'll do for you. And you parents, we did to us. I said, listen, I have 2 brothers. I don't know where. There's no telephone, no address, no nothing. When do you have off? Off? I have a few days, I have off a week. And by the way, how do you come to be a British? It's very simple. I have no money. I have nothing. I saw in the Hebrew paper, they're looking for soldiers to watch athlete. 5 lira, at that time no shekel, lira. We pay a day, and 5 lira is good for me. And they gave me that uniform. I'm watching you. Can you imagine what a Jew will do with 5 liras? I have only a name and maybe something will help you. Go to Shchuna Shapira and look for a family of Khan. Khan was my father's distant cousin. They will know who my brothers are. And please, make sure you find them, because nobody knows. My parents don't know after weeks and weeks traveling, including their ships and this. They don't know. I'm dead, I'm alive. Not to mention my brothers. No telephone, no telegrams. There's no nothing. Like Bangladesh. One more favor. You know I have no papers. Make me my name, David Lowy. I am 15 years old. Then let me out. And I especially have 2 brothers. Goes by a week. I'm waiting, I'm waiting. All of a sudden I'm in the backyard again, walking, doing things. I hear on the mic, David Levy, come to the office. I ran to the office and I sit down. What's your name? David Levy. You have 2 brothers in Tel Aviv? Yeah. How they came there? Certificate. And how old are you? 15, 16, I don't even know. Alright, here's 5 liras. Take a ticket to the bus from Haifa to Tel Aviv and go meet your brothers. And don't go to Haganah. I said, what's Haganah? Make believe, I don't know. Okay. So, I'm out. So I meet my brothers. The rest is hard to describe what, where, this and that. And the Khan family was very, very nice. Really gave me shelter, they bought me some clothes. I became a new person. Remember, it's Palestine, Israel. British are there. And Haganah is underground, and Begin is Eitzel. All of a sudden, they called in my older brother to military, Haganah. And I, one day, come and say to him, Avrum, you are not going to the military. Why? I must go. Avrum, my brother, had a job. He polished furniture. For his measly salary, he sent $100 a month to Romania to my parents to help them. $100 a month. He said, you go to the army, who will send the money? I have no job. The other brother has no job. You're the only one. So give me your piece of paper. No passport, paper. And my name is Abraham, and you are David. He accepted reluctantly, but he realized I'm right. So I went to the army. They took me for training, and it wasn't easy. I was a soldier, then the war broke out, and Ben Gurion called out May 14, 1948. I declared Medinat Israel, Israeli country. I was already a full-fledged soldier in the mountains of Latrun, that's next to Jerusalem. We had a little radio, so all listened to Ben Gurion. Then we listened to Abba Evan in the United Nations, again radio, to listen who declares, who supports Israel, who is against it. Which, by the way, Russia was the first one to recognize. America was reluctant. So, years goes by, heavy fighting, I was wounded, military. We put on mines, I was in Royal Engineer Corps, we put on mines on the floor, and we built bridges that are destroyed, all kinds of heavy, dirty work. One mine exploded, I have a pebble on my finger, even today. I want to take it out, it's memory. That's good memories always. And years goes by, the calendar is turning. Stay in line for food. Israel has no food, no nothing. My parents arrived after Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Prague, Paris. My mother had a sister in America who left sick in 1935. So they sent papers, it's called affidavit, to my parents to come to immigrate to America. They were ready to go to America. After 1948, the headlines of the newspaper in Israel was written, blood is flowing in Tel Aviv streets from the Arab slaughtering the Jews. And my mother heard that. I have 3 sons in Israel, Tel Aviv. I'm going to go to America. She threw away the papers. And she came to Israel. I approached my captain. I said to him, I understand my parents arrived. I would like very much to see him. I didn't see him since I left Romania. He's an Israeli born, Sabra. He doesn't even know what I'm talking. To him it's natural. He says, Avram, I'm Avram, remember? Avram, you go, and we move, you're not here, you have a court-martial. I didn't see nothing. On your own. I said, I'll take my chances. One morning I get up, full gear, start making arrangements. Israel had no cars. No cars, no such thing as a car. Here and there, a car, trucks here and there. I start walking to the highway, roads, full gear, rifles, grenades, hard hat, everything. And picked up some trucks. Here and there they took me to Tel Aviv. Finally, I come in to that house, it was an apartment house. From distance, before I came in to the kitchen, I see my mother, and I start making noises with my boots, not to scare her. And she looks down me and calls me out. They called me Dudu. David, Dudu. Dudu. Tell what? You? It's easy to say, but you can't describe that feelings. So one guy came, and she says to me, listen, his name is Mr. Brown, he's dead now. Lipa, my son drives me crazy. He wants to go to America. He don't want to live there in Israel. He says, listen, the Yeshiva Torah Vadas gives papers for $200. My mother says, $200? I don't have that money. So my aunt says, Gidel Surah, don't worry, I'll give you the money. The bottom line, they send me the papers. I came to the consul, American consul, Israel, to give me the visa. And I came as a student, Torah Vadas.
How did you get there?
Okay, good question. It was 1952. I remember. I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why. Israel had one boat, SS Shalom. We arrived in Genoa, Italy. The boat was so lousy that it was raining and the ocean, all the water came in the boat. But we arrived. I see in the port as we arrive, they're selling oranges, bananas, all the fruit that Israel did not exist. Israel had no fruit. Israel was a country with empty, like Bangladesh. Israel had nothing. They imported frozen meat from Argentina. I stood in line in Tel Aviv. My mother said I had to stay in line for eggs, for bread, for sugar, for flour. The only thing was for free plenty was red melon, avatiach, red melon, and botnim, cashews. So I said, I have $20. I'm going to change it and get liras. Liras, they give you a suitcase of liras. But I can't resist its fruit. I must have it. So I changed it $20. They gave me the liras, Italian liras. They arrived. So I get down in the west side, in the pier. Immigration. Oh, you came to study? Yeah. Where's your ticket to go back to Tel Aviv after you finish studying? Again, Buzukter. And I said what he says to me. He says, where's your ticket? Go back to Tel Aviv and you finish yeshiva. I said, I don't have. No? Ellis Island. Takes me to Ellis Island. I come there, sleep there at night. I get up in the morning and start thinking, how can I get out of here? I have an aunt. And I have a telephone. I don't have 5 cents to make the phone call. I need a nickel to make the phone call. Was there a guy, whoever it was, I remember, gave me a nickel. I dialed on aunt. She says, Hungarian, where are you, boy? I'm Ellis Island. Where is that? I said, gotta take a boat. I'm the refugee. I have to tell her. And by the way, you must bring $500, a bond, to take me out. No problem. We'll be there tomorrow. Next day, my Uncle Joe Cement, my Aunt Peppy Nanny, came with a bond. I am out. And I am now in Beverly Road, Ocean Parkway, staying with my uncle and aunt. My hand was always to do business. There was a guy who I knew who lives in Borough Park. He dames by Chuster Rabbi, 48 and 12th Avenue. His name is Yankel Brown, again deceased. Remember I told you my mother had a visitor, Brown, and she cried to him, and he says to us, that was his brother, Lipa, who died, my uncle died. I said to myself, Yankel knows my parents well during the war, I remember that. And Yankel is in the watch business. Maybe he'll give me a job. I get up Shabbos morning, walk from Ocean Parkway to 48th and 12th Avenue. It's not easy. To Gister Rabbi Shul. I wanted to rub shoulders with Yankel Brown. Ah, Shamalach, we smell the tata. How's your father? How's your mother? Fine. That's it. Figured he'll call me for Kiddush, so a lunch, goodness. Nada. I go back home, walk back home, of course. Now starts the music. Sit down at the Shabbos table. Uncle Joe says, David, I am eating 10 o'clock. You're not here, I will eat by myself. My aunt starts screaming at my uncle in front of me. Joe, leave the boy alone. I felt like dirt. Here I want to go look for future Yankel, for a watch, for this, for that. Okay. Next Shabbos, I repeat. I do the same thing. I don't care. I have in my mind a target. I want to do something. I don't give up, especially if I like it. I walked maybe twice, three times. Finally, he calls me in. There's some Kiddush. Want to have Kiddush? Not lunch. Chalila. I say, yeah. I come in there, gives me a glass of this, that, a piece of fish, whatever. I say, Yankel, let me tell you why I came here. Walk so far and have abuses from an uncle. I heard you're paying $1 an hour for putting on straps on the watches. And you have lots of yeshiva boys who do that. Yeah, so what? Can I have a job? You? Yeah. Come in. Sunday. My office is 401 Broadway. Broadway Canal. Villerus Watch Company. Villeruse. Watch Company. 401 Broadway, where you can, Sunday. I come in there, Uncle Bundu, I'm here. Okay. He sit in this room with the rest of the boys, and 2 weeks I put on straps on the watches. 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I had enough. I knock on his office door. Uncle, can I come in? Yeah, come around. He was a Hamish guy who knew I was what. I sit down. Uncle, I didn't come for straps. I didn't come really. I came to sell your watches. I want to work for you. What? You're crazy. You just came off the boat. You don't speak English. We are Willero's Watch Company. I'm going to allow to make a... Again, God, without God, you can't do nothing. God gives me brains to answer, like Joseph said to Pharaoh. I heard you know a lot of things, dreams. He said to Pharaoh, only what God tells me, what he puts in my mouth. Same with me. No difference. I'm not Joseph. Soon as he heard, do I ask you for money? I don't ask you for nothing. Just give me the line. Give me the freaking line. Oh, no money? I said, if I put on your business card on every store, wherever I go, for free for you, people pay others has a lot of money. I'm your 11. I'm your legs. I'm your advertising. Okay, I have talked to my partners. He had partners. Okay, come back tomorrow. All right, come back tomorrow. I'm shivering. I want the job. I want to sell. It's in my blood. He says, all right, we have a line of watches in Chicago. My brother, Lieper, Uncle Lieper, remember the names? I sent him to Chicago. He's there already 10 days. We don't hear from him. We don't know nothing. I know which motel he is. Go look for him and take away the line and tell him to go back home, and you take and you start traveling. Here's a United Airlines card, and buy a ticket on this card, and zijn we slicht. I take the plane, go to Chicago. I felt like I'm a billion, not a million, $1 billion guy. Necktie, hat, that time he wore hats. Credit card, United Airlines credit card, flying to Chicago, flying the plane, taking my own hotel. Finally, I find Lieper. Lieper, he's sleeping. Lieper, give me the line your uncle, your brother said. Okay, bottom line is, I took the line. I said, give me all the addresses where you were, I should not go again, and some certain guidance back and forth. I start looking, where do I go? The jewelry business has a red book. It's called Jewelers Board of Trade. Tells you all the people in the United States, every 50 states, where are they, who are they good for credit, 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars. I need some guidance, so that book was one guide. Took out Chicago, Illinois, okay, start looking, making notes on paper, start going. I didn't have much money to go with taxis, so just walking, asking, where is Johnston, where is this street, where is that, where is this? I printed business cards, David Lowy, this and that, the whole business. Start selling, and really start selling good. Chicago, Milwaukee, Kansas City, Nebraska, and every city, major city, Salt Lake City, all over till California. Stop at everything, sleep at night or 2 nights, selling, appointments. I'm sorry if you don't need nothing now, but give me your name and telephone. Here's my card. I'll come back in 4 weeks, and this and that.
How did you travel? Car, train? How did you travel?
Oh, with the city I traveled mainly by taxis. I had to go from place to place. I have no car, by taxis. That time was no renting in the 50s. No renting, you know. There's no subways where I go. Only subway has is Chicago and New York. Small towns. Made a lot of contacts, made a lot of connections. Nothing major happened in the first trip because introduction is important to know who you are. Just because you present a Villarus company and you print beautiful cards, don't mean nothing. So I'll be back in a few weeks. Came back home and made notes of everything, did my homework back and forth. Remember, no money, I don't get no money. Here's the punchline. Coming during the day while I didn't travel, I went local, Bronx, New York, Brooklyn, here and there, looking for a jeweler, looking who buys watches, looking for, of course, Yankelburg, Khalila to give me an address. Didn't give me one address. I'll go further. Took me 4 or 5 weeks till I found out there's a Bowery next to Broadway Canal. Bowery is like 47th Street today. The major, was no 47 at that time, major buying, Louis Glegg, the big billionaire, had a stand, I remember I came to visit him, Bowery. So this Brown didn't even tell me he's a Bowery. Slowly, on my own broken. But my problem was my uncle. Every night I came home to sleep in Ocean Parkway in Beverly Road. Nah, you do business, you have to work in America. Work. He was a painter. I said, Uncle Joe, I'm not going to work. I'm working as salesman. So where's your money? It will come. I didn't have money to buy a cigarette that I was smoking. I remember a Sunday in the corner of Beverly Road in East 5th was a newspaper stand, sells papers. New York Times that time weighed probably a pound, heavy pound. So I look at the people buy, give them money, paper, and buy one. So I approach the guy, I say, I'm looking, work. I'm looking for a job. And they wanted, which page, how much cost a page? How much cost a page in Times? Just give me that page. He looks at me, he says, are you a greener? I said, yes. He started laughing. Okay, take that page number so-and-so and look at it and put it back and owe me nothing. I want to pay him 10 cents for that page. Can you imagine the ideas? But the ideas were good, solid ideas. Not a lazy guy. Because the abuse I had, work from an uncle. Finally, I really started to sell. And make successful, came back, traveled. I had cards printed. I'll see you like 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, this and that.
What was your commission?
2%. I asked him, Uncle, I need some cash to buy a drink for a buyer. I'm going out with JCPenney. Example. And I want to buy him a scotch, a coffee. From your own money, whatever you're going to make. I don't give you nothing. 2%. That's it. 2%. So be it. I was thankful in my mind. He gave me the line, he gave me a break. He said, you don't want to give me money. For me, it was very tough. My shoe soles were torn. I was embarrassed to tell my uncle, Joe, I need new shoes. I walked so much to look for a jeweler, through for an office. Look here. I knocked on doors. I walked by steps by foot, no elevators. I'm single. Now I was introduced a girl. When I left Israel, and my father had a furniture store. He has a factory in Ramla, that's a city of outskirts of Tel Aviv. Then he opened a store in Yafo to sell the furniture, like to show off open doors. He had a partner, small partner, and he had a brother, that partner. That brother lived in America. As everyone knew I'm going to America after I received the visa, he says to me, that guy, listen, do me a favor, take this letter to this address in U Street in Williamsburg. U Street, Williamsburg to me is like worse than Chinatown. Okay. I came one day, looked for the address, 258 U Street, knock on the door, okay. I brought a letter from the brother-in-law for this, that, okay. All of a sudden comes out a girl, all dressed up. I get the message, she was, and how are you, what's your name, what are you doing? Okay. I kind of fancied her. We went out for a coffee. There was no Starbucks that time. And then, can I call you again? Yes. Called her again.
No shotgun.
No shotgun, no nothing. A few weeks went by. I don't hear from her. She doesn't call me. The telephone is my aunt's where I stay. My aunt Joe and uncle.
Sorry, can I ask Mr. Lowe, could you just turn your body to face...
Me?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, just you turn your body...
No, whatever. Excuse me. It's not. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's okay.
You know. You all know what's happening. I see your face. I could tell. I called her up after I didn't hear for a while. And I say to her and leave her the following message. All my girls know, all my children know the message. Listen to me, young lady. I came here to America with good intentions. I like you, and I'm serious. I'd like to date you. This is the last phone call you hear from me. If I don't hear from you, never call you again. I hang up the phone. After a short while, phone ring, come over. Literally. Came over, we went out dancing. I knew to dance like I knew to fly. Dancing. Well, things went by, and my future father-in-law called me for a dinner. He had his third wife. One wife he lost at the ghetto in Romania, then another one he lost. This is the third wife. Invited me for dinner for here. One day...
Is this her mother?
No, her mother died in ghetto. My wife's mother died in ghetto in Vișeu in Romania. I went to visit my wife, the cemetery, a few times in that little hack town. My father, future father, tells me one day, David, that he called me like this, David, I'd like to invite you for Pesach. But it's not nice, just like this, have a stranger. If you become a chosen, Straight talk. I said, in the Torah, it says, by Rivka, by Yaakov, with marriage, Tovo is anara v'nishal espiha. Bring the girl, we'll ask her what she says, whether she wants or not. So I said, Reb Zindel, my future father-in-law, ask her if she is interested in me. Ja, he said. Sie will. She wants. So be it. Came for Pesach. After Pesach, we went Chosen. Of course, you guys realize I'm cutting off a lot of details because the most important is the main topics. Future details are interesting. Let's go back to Yankel and the watches. I remember, I'm a Chosen now. I talk to her, I see her, I talk by telephone. I keep complaining to her my businesses, the agony. But Yankel goes through. One day I'm in Detroit, Michigan, on sales as usual, and I walk into a customer, Mr. Feinstein, nice Jewish man. He said, "Hey, Dave, thank you very much, beautiful shipment." Shipment. I knew that he was not okay for credit. The book doesn't say good things, that book, Jewelers Board of Trade. And so I worked. Right away came idea to my head. I said to him, "Feinstein, I lost a copy of the shipment. Can you give me a copy of this?" "Sure, why not?" Give me a copy, put it in my pocket. Won't say nothing. I travel, Chicago, Kansas City, Oklahoma, Salt Lake, every town, all the way down. Sometimes I traveled back from California, all the way down, sometimes straight to California. Straight to California was 3 days flying. The plane travels, stops. It's going to rain. It's going to snow. It's going to this. We have no oil. And this. 3 days to fly New York, California, and this was in 1955. I come back to the office. I have a file of my commission. I go to my file, to the L for Lowy. I'm looking, maybe there's a copy of from Feinstein in Detroit. No. I was thinking, how do I bring this up? I don't want to insult him and throw me out. Then I want him, Uncle Joe. I have to wake. I'm not going to do that. I have to be very delicate and careful. My color gives me an idea. David, you must leave or go on your own and tell Yankel that either it makes you a partner or nothing. And by the way, you didn't approve Feinstein before and you shipped him to me a copy. When you talk about many things, throw in by the way, sounds more softer. I said, how come he was also became overnight good before he wasn't good for credit? Oh, we checked more and this and that. I forgot to put up a copy. I said, okay, I'll forgive you. But don't do it again. For a lousy 2%. However, I think I deserve a partnership. Remember, I bring in all the sales. I travel day and night. There's no OU. There's no kosher. There's nothing. If I don't have a sandwich, which could only last for X amount of time, after that, throw it away. I came to New Orleans, Louisiana, Friday in a meeting. I was stuck for Shabbos. I take the Yellow Pages Hotel and look for a congregation. Figured, a shul, I go eat. You know, there's no Chabad at that time, like today. So I look at the Yellow Pages, congregation, Yitzchak Hanan. This reform, that time I didn't know it's reform, have very fancy Jewish names, Hebrew names. Congregation Yankel Yitzchak, Congregation Ahavas Yisrael, whatever. So I dial, listen, I'm here in business, I'm stuck in New Orleans. Can I come to the shul? Where do you live? I live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. You're not for us. Hung up. I didn't know what he mean. I didn't understand what he said, you're not for us. I figured I have leprosy. I dialed another number. Same story, I'm sorry. Then I realized this is a reform. And I was told reform, you can't even go into the shul. Put your foot in the shul even there, not to mention be with them. So I walked out, went to some kind of grocery store, I bought some hard-boiled eggs, some onions and pepper, crackers, came back, took a towel, took the table, and made Shabbos on that. No, of course I had no wine. And then Sunday I flew out. So there's no OU, no kosher, no nothing. I was struggling. I said, Yankel, it's not easy for me. If I feel, now I'm engaged, I'm going to get married soon. Let me talk to my partners. Okay, fair enough. Goes by a week or so, Yankel knew. All right, sit down. We'll give you 20%. All right. I'll speak to my Kala. I speak to my Kala. Says, Raz, he offered me 20%. No! 50-50. Oh my God. She's tough. I come back. Yankel. Why, you crazy? What's the matter with you? I go to Turi. Raz, Turi. No. I said, Raz, I have one idea. You are giving me advice. Some of them I like, some of them are too rigid, too tough, too rough, too aggressive. I want to go and be independent. That's my dream. Because selling, that's my business. I need the money, I need the sources. Would your father lend me $10,000? She says, I'll ask. She approached her father until she called me back 2 days, and I was crazy with ideas, with Yankel, with this, with that. It wasn't difficult for me, but I saw a future. She calls me. Father says he'll give you the money. Give me the money, and Yankel, I really appreciate what you did to me. I won't forget. But I don't think we could work together. I have different ideas. I flew to Geneva, Switzerland. I slept in the mountains where they make the watches, the movements. That time you bring in movements and bring in cages for the movements. It was a whole thing, but I learned how to do it. Flew in the United States, back from Europe, selling and doing new models, new ideas. I was busy. The bottom line, I became so successful that Yankel Brown became my biggest customer. Because I had such a good deals and good prices. I had the sources. I know where to go, which factory, which mountain, where they assemble. And Yankel was sitting in his 401 Broadway and was waiting for the ready-made meal. Doesn't work like this. So I married.
Where?
I married in Brooklyn.
Did you
I
live-
married at June 2nd, 1953. It's a famous day. Why is it famous? Because the Queen Elizabeth, the present Queen, became coronated the same day. I was at a chosn, the day of wedding, of course, staying by my aunt in Beverly Road, Ocean Parkway. And they had a small TV in the 50s, small TVs. And I remember watching the TV in England, shows you how she comes down in Buckingham Palace on the red carpet. I said to myself, look at that, she today became queen. June 2nd, 1950, June 2nd, what year was it? 53. Yeah, sure. June 2nd, 53, Queen Elizabeth became queen. And I get married tonight, June 2nd, 1953, in Brooklyn. So we have something in common. As a matter of fact, I disappeared. I used to have a plate, very fancy plate, June 2nd, so on and so on. So I was in England quite a few times. One time wanted to somehow say to the Queen, meet her or send a message, we have in common, June 2nd, 1953. You became queen, and I became king. So I married in Brooklyn, and I have beautiful, beautiful pictures from my album, gorgeous pictures. My wife looked unbelievable. Anybody wants to see the pictures, she's really like a Hollywood actress. What's the name of that movie, Gone with the Wind, the woman? She looked like her. Believe me. If you finish, you have time, but you show you the picture, you won't believe it.
Who was in the Sada position?
Good question. Tzadek Katuma Yifrach. That was the Chimperuf, Rabbi Österreicher. He is my hometown. Because of him, we were saved in Ireland from the Nazis. He said, nothing, gar nichts wird geschehen. Nothing will happen in this town. He was a tzaddik till he died. I can't describe to you people, since you're not from that background or neighborhood, who the Chimperu was. He was my tradition. Of course, I have pictures as he does it in the Tankerov. Tankerov, his son was today Tankerov, and 12th Avenue 48. Famous address 1248, we used to be Chuster Rebbe, I used to walk there to meet Brown. 12th Avenue, now it's Tankerov, the big shul, and there's a kollel next. The kollel is mine. I built it. My father and mother name is there. My brother sits on there. You walk on the 12th Avenue 48, see on the wall, all my brother's name and my name, my father, kollel. They're learning in kollel day and night, summer and winter. I took once the car about the Shabbos, like 1 in the morning. I said to my wife, I'm going to see if there's somebody winter. I came, was packed with learning, and that wee hour. So I'm very happy that I was zoiche to have a schus, sheiches, to kollel from Tanker, that I was zoiche to finance it.
Because I wanted to finish